Yes, sir.
What has been from you guys, sort of behind the scenes or in private, any outreach at all from the administration, whether that's the White House or the DHS, as far as the immigration situation in your state? Have you guys had any sort of interface on that?
As far as with our states to do what? Just be able to talk to them what's going on? Sure. Our conversation has been pretty consistent with the administration to talk about here's what the problem is, here's what we're seeing. We give reports after we go to the border to be able to talk through what we saw. We talk about the numbers. We request numbers from them so we can get a chance to talk about it. Senator Portman mentioned the latest numbers we have are the October numbers. It's the end of December, and they're still holding the November numbers because they don't want to discuss or want them in public what those November numbers are. They have them. They get them every single day, but they're just not turning them over. And so part of our challenge is getting information from them, trying to keep them informed, and to be able to say, this is what's happening now. What are you going to do about it? And they continue to go back, well, we have a 6-point plan that we've been running since April, and all I can say is your 6-point plan is not working.
So those conversations, from what you're saying, seem like they're a one-way street where you guys are doing most of the talking. Are you hearing anything from them?
I rarely get a call from them, occasionally, but rarely get a call from them to be able to say what's going on. We're typically saying this is a problem, and they're typically nodding their head and saying, yes, it is, we're working on it, but we see no changes. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Do you think he's legally present? Is that what the question is here? Okay. Okay.
What do you think he needs to say to keep Republicans, particularly those who've been skeptical about more?
I'm going to stay centered on the immigration issues on this, just for the nature of this conversation. But anyone else have a quick question? Same thing. Same question. Okay.
Do you support the funding, and if you anticipate that you or your colleagues might
Yeah.
vote against it tonight on the night he's here?
We're going to watch and see what happens on that, but I'm going to stay focused on the immigration issues on this. So one more question on immigration. Yes, ma'am. Sure.
I just have a quick question going back to this thing that Senator Portman said that he's hopeful that a Republican House will pass immigration reform. They've been very reluctant, even in 2013, to see immigration as a bipartisan
Right.
package. Have you been talking with House Republicans about whether or not they can get immigration through?
So first we got to get House Republicans organized. They've got to be able to know what their committee chairmen are, where they're going to go, who we're going to be negotiating with on that. So they've got to resolve that in early January. Then yes, we're very willing to be able to have those dialogues. What I typically hear from House members are the Senate has put together a bill that we really, really hate, and we're afraid that if we pass a security bill, that it's going to suddenly flip into that bill into the Senate that we don't like, and so we don't want to do anything on it. I don't hear an unwillingness to be able to negotiate, to be able to talk about the hard issues. Everyone sees the problem on immigration. Everyone sees it. The issue is, how do we actually solve it? The biggest challenge that we've had is getting everybody in the room, talking through the issues, getting to a resolution, and solving it. The second problem is there's no deadline. So Congress seems to function best on a deadline. Clearly, just watch what's happening on the floor today, and you'll see suddenly there's a deadline happening, and so Congress seems to be getting busy on things. With immigration, there's no deadline. That's why when President Trump said, I'm going to end DACA in 6 months, it created a deadline. Congress got busy, started negotiating, started talking about how do we resolve this. We had 3 bills that came up in the Senate. None of them got 60 votes. We're about to start going into conference to be able to resolve the differences, and the court pulled it away and said, we want to look at DACA. As soon as that happened, deadline went away, Congress stopped working on it. We now have a new deadline now. With the court stepping back and saying that DACA was illegal, we have a new deadline. And I think it's going to push Congress on both sides of the hill to be able to talk about, okay, what are we going to do? How are we going to resolve all these issues? And so my hope is that we'll have serious, substantive dialogue about how we're going to resolve all the immigration issues, rather than just a bill being floated at different times and saying, look, here's the solution, but there's no groundwork that's been done, there's no preparation that's been done for it. Because what's happening at the border right now can't continue. It just can't. And I think this administration believed there would be a surge at the border that would somehow magically just go away a few months later, and they're finding out a bad situation 2 years ago. It's just getting worse today, and it's unresolved. Y'all, thanks. Thanks for staying engaged on this issue. It is important to the country. A lot of people care about it. Thanks, y'all.